We are now moving on to a new section in math, and it is called angles. The first thing that we need to learn about when we learn about angles is what exactly are they and how do we name them? How do we name angles? Whenever you see a line with an arrow at the end, that line is called a ray. So it doesn't mean anything, it's just a line with an arrow at the end, but it has a name and it is called a ray. When you have two rays like this that join at a point over here, this point, so we said that this was called a ray, and when we have two rays that join at a point over here, this point is called the vertex. The vertex. So here we have two rays and they join together at a point. The point is called a vertex. Now, the space that is created in between these two rays is called an angle. So this over here is our angle. And that is what we are going to be learning about in maths. What are angles? How do we draw them and how do we name them? So to begin with naming angles, I'm going to draw another angle over here. Okay. Whenever you're drawing angles, they are always named using the letters of the alphabet. For example, D, E, F. D, E, F. It has to follow the alphabetical order so that the middle letter, the E, is the angle itself. So if I was going to write the name of this angle, I would write angle D, E, F. This is a symbol for angle. So whenever you see the symbol, it means angle. Angle D, E, F. Another way I could name this angle is to say angle F, E, D. It doesn't matter if you swap these two letters around, but the angle, the vertex, has to always be in the middle. So the E is in the middle here and the E is in the middle here. It would be incorrect if I called this angle E, F, D, for example, because F is not in the middle. The middle letter has to be where the vertex is to create the angle. If you understand this clearly, then please pause this video now and try and name these angles on your whiteboard. Try and name these angles on your whiteboard now. Pause the video and try and name the angles. Make sure that the letter at the vertex is always in the middle. Pause the video and try and name these angles now. Right, once you have understood how to name angles, we are then going to learn about how to measure angles. We'll learn about how it is that we measure angles. So, to measure angles, we use something that looks like this, and it is called a protractor. I'll write the name down. It is called a protractor. And this little half circle is what we use to measure angles. Now if you look at the circle very, very carefully, you will notice that there's numbers on the outside and there are also numbers on the inside. Do not get confused with the different numbers. You have to use the number that begins with the 0. So this begins with the 0, so we're using the outside of this protractor to measure our angles. Another thing you need to know about angles is that angles are measured in degrees. Degrees. And they represented with a little circle like that at the top. You will understand more how to measure angles now using this protractor after we've done an example. So like I said, we use the protractor to help us measure the angles, and we are going to try and measure this angle here created by these two rays. So this is angle ABC. So if I'm going to name it, remember the B has to be in the middle because that's the angle. I'm going to say angle ABC. ABC is equal to, because I'm now going to measure the angle. I have to make sure that the flat line at the bottom of my protractor is flat on the bottom, or the baseline is what we call it, the baseline. And this line in the middle over here has to be put exactly at the point of this angle. So I'm taking this middle line and putting it exactly against the point of the angle, making sure that the baseline is straight on the black line on the protractor. Then it's very simple. I just follow the numbers on the outside, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and it gets to 70 over here. So that means angle ABC is 70 degrees. That little naught at the top, the little 0 at the top means degrees. So I've now measured angle ABC and it is 70 degrees. What happens when you get an angle that's slightly bigger? For example, this angle over here. Again, you still use your protractor. Let's name our angle. It is angle PQR. PQR. Remember, the Q must be in the middle when we are naming. I'm going to take my protractor, put the little black line at the vertex. So the black line must be at the vertex. If the black line isn't at the vertex, it's going to make my answer incorrect. So we have to make sure the black line is at the vertex. Start again with 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. So angle PQR is 120 degrees. If you understand how to name angles, if you've understood this video, or how to measure angles, then we're going to do some more examples in class, but you could always get your friend to draw an angle and then just use a protractor to measure it. If you understand this video, then you may proceed to the next one. Otherwise, you will get the opportunity to practice more of these examples in class time.